So let's talk about now. So again, this is Retro Rap. My guest today is been a pretty loyal viewer of mine, and I really appreciate him. He's a cool guy, and he's just very laid back and just super cool. His name is, he goes by Nigel underscore Neverland, or Nigel, and there he is. Nigel, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing really good. So, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to this.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Again, this is something I love doing. Most of my guests are streamers that I know of, and I watch you guys stream. But it's cool doing this because I get to know you more on a personal level, and other viewers get to know who you are too. So why don't you take about 10, 15 seconds, just do a quick elevator pitch, let people know who you are.
Absolutely. Nigel Neverland is my handle. You can call me Mitch. That's my actual first name if you want to. I am a professional musician, a professional content writer, a professional editor, a professional content creator, and my stream is 100% charity. My nonprofit that I support is called Foundation 45. I'll drop the link in the chat.
Oh, right, yeah, here. Please do. Yes.
There you go. I'm actually really close to the story that goes with Foundation 45 and where it came from, and I'd be happy to discuss that because it's actually a really sad story, but it actually ends up being a really positive, happy story. And I do lunchtime streams for like 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's about an hour-ish. And I do that Monday through Friday, except for the day I go in the office, which that's to be determined every week. So, and that's about it. I'm happy to be here, and love to see y'all. Anytime you want to come by, come on by.
Well, I'm glad you brought it. As I just mentioned, I'm doing a charity stream coming up here. Why don't you talk a little bit? I didn't realize you were a charity streamer. Why don't you talk a little bit about Foundation 45 and what it stands for?
So, Foundation 45, it started with a band. And the band is a local to DFW, which is where I live. That's Dallas-Fort Worth, the people that don't know. And I live in Dallas, and one of the local bands we had was called Spectre 45. And their front man was a guy named, I can say his name because, his dad and sister are both public figures around the scene, so it's not a big deal. But Frankie Campagna was the front man of Spectre 45. And he was really good friends with my ex-wife. They've been friends for a long time. And me and him, I mean, we were cool. Like whenever she was around, he's like, "Hey man, what's up, dude? Hey," shakes my hand and everything. But whenever she wasn't around, and like he'd be bartending, I'd walk up, be like, "Hey, what's up, Frankie?" He'd be like, "What can I get you?" What can I get you? Like real standoffish. And I figured it out after a while that he just had a crush on my ex-wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a big crush on her, and he was nice to me when she was around, but he was just real kind of whatever when she wasn't around. So, and it took me a minute to figure it out, but I was like, oh, he likes my girl, I get it. And that was when we first got together too, me and my ex-wife. So we weren't married at the time. But his dad is Frank Campagna. He owns Kettle Art Gallery in Deep Ellum, still does. Great guy. And of course, his sister's Amber. I can't believe I couldn't remember her name. She's a sweetheart. I love her to death. And so basically, Frankie, I forget when this happened. I think it was right after New Year's. I think I forget how long ago this was. But him and his girlfriend at the time broke up. And I think he was like really coked up that night and drunk too. Oh. And they broke up, and he ended up hanging himself that night. So yeah, he didn't make it. And of course, a few months later, his bass player, I forget his name offhand, but his bass player also took his own life a few months later. So the only person left in the band was Anthony, the drummer, and he actually went through a really bad time too because I mean, shit, his two best friends had just killed themselves in less than half a year, and it was really rough on all of us. I mean, wow. It was one of those times that was just so hard for everybody, especially around the scene because we were real big into the Deep Ellum scene at the time. And I actually, when my daughter was really young, we were eating at a cafe that was by where we lived. And I saw Anthony, the drummer, walking along the side of the street, and he was completely shit-faced hammered. Oh. And he was just walking down the street, like stumbling on the side of the road, almost going into traffic. And I was just like, shit, I need to go grab him, but my daughter's like 3 years old. I can't just leave her here and
Right.
go out there and grab him, pull him off the street, and take him to the couch or whatever. Which that's what I wanted to do. And that's the last time I actually saw him. But the positive side of the story is Foundation 45 came out of this. Foundation 45 they are a mental health awareness foundation. They're run completely by volunteers. Nobody gets paid, and it's they focus on suicide prevention, addiction recovery, and they're great people. Like I say, Anthony is actually one of the founding members of Foundation 45, and he's cleaned himself up. He's gotten a lot better, and he's on a mission now, and he doesn't want anybody to have to go through what he's gone through. And my best friend actually died back in 2005, I think it was. My best friend overdosed on painkillers too, and I don't think he actually took his own life. I'm not sure on that one, but yeah. So we've all been there, and I went through a rough stretch too, just with depression and whatnot. And a few months ago, I finally got on Lexapro and Adderall, and I've been doing way, way, way better. And that's when I started streaming, like getting it going. It was right out about a month after I got on that medicine. I'm like, I actually feel like I can do something now, because usually I just sit in front of my computer and I don't do shit. I'm just like, ugh, I just scroll Facebook or whatever the hell. And so getting on the meds helped me. So yeah, Foundation 45, I support them 100% with my stream, because I actually have a great job now, and I also play way too many shows now, and I make pretty good money doing that. So I don't need the money. So for me, it's just I'm having a good time. I hope people come by, and if you just hanging out, the ads make money for the foundation. It goes directly to them. I'm getting set up with Tiltify. Do you know what Tiltify is, PLG?
I do not.
Okay, Tiltify is like a middleman that goes like, they take my payout directly and they send it directly to the foundation. I don't see the money at all. But we're still working with the foundation, still working on getting theirs set up. There's been a delay for some reason. I don't know why. But for now, all of my bits and everything I make goes to my PayPal when I get a payout. And then anything goes directly to them. And I actually was, my idea was to actually make a video of me taking them a check directly and like handing them a check and then showing that on my stream to show that I'm actually giving them the money.
Right.
But we're working on getting Tiltify set up so that there's no question. Like, it goes directly to them. You don't even have to worry about whether I'm staging anything or any kind of bullshit like that. And I want to take that extra step, and so people know for damn sure that, I mean, I wouldn't do it anyway, but how do you know? Nobody knows me.
Oh, right. That is
sure.
super cool, man. Do me a favor. After this, I know you have something to do later, but maybe today, tomorrow, that link that you just posted in my Discord for me, because as somebody that is very passionate about raising money for a cause important to them, I absolutely support others that do the same thing. So, yeah, make sure you post that for me. And that would be cool. And feel free, like, anytime you come and visit me in my streams, feel free, just talk about it. If that, if you like, just mention it or whatever. Just, you have full permission from me. Just talk about it all you want in chat.
It's there. I already did.
That's cool, man. Good for you. Well, thank you for sharing that with me, because I didn't know that. See, this is why I love Retro Rap. I find out new stuff from from you guys all the time that I didn't know, that I wouldn't know just coming and catching your stream. So thank you for sharing that, Nigel. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. I love telling the story because, like I said, it's a sad story, but there's a positive side to it. And also, on another note, obviously Foundation 45 is not just a faceless organization. Obviously I know the people that were involved. I know some of the people that are still involved with it. And one of the bands I'm in, it's actually this band right here, Snaketoberfest. It looks reversed to me, but it's probably not. Snaketoberfest is a festival that one of the bands I'm in, Slow Moving Snakes, it's a festival we do every year. And I think we're on like number 8 at this point. We've done it for, well, not that many, I guess. Maybe it's 7. Which one is this? That's 5, right?
That's 5, yes.
Okay, so this year's was 6. This was last year's shirt.
Oh.
And this year's shirt, the really bright neon yellow shirt. It's awesome. But we've been doing that for a while. And I think at the third one is when we got Foundation 45 involved, and we have like raffles and giveaways and stuff all day. It's a all-day music festival in Garland, Texas that we do at Intrinsic Smokehouse. It's a great place. And so I think at about 3 or 4, when we started doing them at Intrinsic, we got Foundation 45 to come out with a table, and like we do a tattoo giveaway,
wow,
a raffle, and all kinds of other stuff. And even the restaurant, they give they give part of their proceeds that day to Foundation 45 as well. So it's something we've been doing for a while. And when I decided to go 100% charity, it was the perfect fit. I was already doing that, so I may as well do it some more. Why not? They need all the help they can get. So
that is really cool. What a cool story. You're right. It is sad how it came to be, but a lot of times these sad stories have happy endings because something good comes out of it. And
sure.
That is really, really cool. Before I forget to mention, Tess, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that. Welcome in, Tess, by the way. Tess is super cool, man. I've been following her on Twitch for a while. She's fun to watch. If you get a chance, Nigel, give her a follow. She's super cool.
Will do.
Yeah, and Tess, if you get a chance here, I'm going to put Nigel's information here. This is Nigel. That's his. For everybody else that's here, that's Nigel's Twitch page. He's also on Twitter, and this is his Twitter link. And then he just started an Instagram, guys. So let's go give him some follows on Instagram.
I'm catching up to the kids.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, welcome in, Tessa. Thank you for coming in. So let's get into it, buddy. First question I have for you: name one video game you've never played, but you have seen others play that you really want to play, and why that game?
This one's an easy one because I've almost been wanting to put money into this, but I haven't, and that is Star Citizen.
Star Citizen, okay.
Yes, one of the girls I work with, she's been a backer since the very beginning, and she plays it a lot, and I've watched her play it, and like it's still like maybe at least 2 years away from being finished, and it's been in development for shit. I don't even remember how long, but so at least 2 years, probably 3 before they actually release the game. But they do keep working on it. A lot of people were thinking, this is not going to go anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But what they have, from what I've seen, what they have right now looks like a lot of fun. Like it looks like it's basically they're trying to do EVE Online, but a little bit more involved and a little bit more deep. And that sounds fantastic to me. And just seeing what they already have going with it, I'm this close to, like, I just got my tax return, and I just got my bonus, and I just got my bonus from work, and it's like, shit, I got to buy a car today too because my car's about to fall apart, and I want to trade it in before it does. But I'm kind of wanting to back Star Citizen because it looks so damn cool, and because I don't know if you've ever played Elite Dangerous, because that's you should look into that one on Steam. It's like $15 right now. It's really cheap, and the version you get on Steam is also the version that's VR. You can play a spaceship flying around in space game in VR, and I haven't gotten me a Quest yet, but I'm gonna buy a Quest just to play Elite Dangerous. But Star Citizen is looking like it's gonna be similar to that, but more of an MMO, type thing.
Okay.
So, and that's the one game that I've seen played that I really, really, really want to play, and I just haven't. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. And I don't have that much time to play games. The reason I started playing games during the lunch hour and streaming it was because I keep saying I'll stream tonight, but then it never happens. But then I was like, fuck, I work from home for the most part. Why don't I just stream during lunch? So. Oh yeah. And on that note, I forgot to say, I mostly play retro stuff on my stream, but I've also been playing shit like Celeste and Dead Cells, like the first, the one that opened the door for indie developers to start doing shit like that, I guess. So you'll see kind of anything. I've played Katamari and stuff like that. But anyway, to answer the question, Star Citizen is the game that I really want to play, that I've seen played and haven't played. So there you go.
Cool, man. I'm gonna check that out. That sounds cool. What can new viewers expect when they visit your channel?
My channel is very simple. It's very laid back. I have a very clean setup. Like, there's not much on there. It's just a camera. It's a screen of the game, or if it's PC, it's all the whole screen is the game with me up in the corner. So it's very simple. There's not much there. There's no chat or anything like that. There's an event thing, and then, of course, I have alerts. I have started recording my own alerts. So if you give me in my stream, if you give me a follow, you'll get to hear something I recorded, actually. So that's kind of cool.
Oh.
I've got a really good idea for a raid. When I get raid, I've got a great long thing that I'm going to sing with, just it's going to be really cool. I've pretty much already got it written in my head. I just got to record it. So, that'll take some time because I got to program the drums and all that shit. But so there's that, and then so it's, yeah, retro games. I play lots of NES games. I love the NES. I play lots of Super Nintendo. I tried to stream the GameCube this past week, but I figured out that I have a third-party power supply for it, and yeah, it works fine if you're just playing the GameCube on the TV, but as soon as you go to plug the cap card into the computer, even touching the connector, just static. Like it's still playable, but it looks like shit. I'm not going to do that. So I'm in the market right now for a GameCube, an OG GameCube power cord. But yeah, so it's mostly retro stuff, and of course I play some PC games on there from time to time. I tried to play the Dark Souls remastered on one of my night streams, and I could not sell that shit. So I'm probably not going to do that again until I get a little bit better at this. Because being on camera, like, I'm actually nervous doing this because
really,
you know, I can play in front of thousands upon thousands of people on stage and not be nervous at all. But this is taking me some time to get used to. Like right now, it's weird. Like and I'm sweating. You know, like this is how nerves feel. I didn't even know why. I'm like, why am I sweating so much on stream? It's like because you're nervous. You're just not used to being nervous.
Wow.
But, yeah, for sure. But that's what to expect. I'm finally starting to get used to it. My stream is growing, and I tend to have at least, you know, right now 5 or 6 people in my lunchtime streams at a time, and it gets bigger every week. So that's what you can expect. And of course, you know, I do like to do longer streams at night. I really want to get into Final Fantasy VI, the new Pixel remaster that just came out. I bought it, and it's awesome. And so I want to do some longer streams at night playing shit like that and see if I can sell that too. But, you know, so that's what you can expect. It's really laid back. I am going to be setting up some alerts very soon, or not alerts, redeems for channel points.
Okay.
And they're going to be shit like, you know, I'll have, like, I've seen people do, like, have a song list so you can redeem me playing a certain song on stream, you know, stuff like that. So that's all coming, you know, and it's slow going because, you know, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time outside of all the things I do. But it will come, and of course I've got new artwork coming. I was going to go with Gilgamesh because I love her artwork, but one of my buddies, just that I actually got a job with my company, he was a contractor, and a month after he got the job, they cut all the contractors. So he's currently looking for another job right now, and he's an amazing artist. And so I was like, hey, do you want to try doing this shit for me, since, you know, you need the work? So my new profile pic on Twitch he did that. And I got a couple of others I can share with you in your Discord, too. I'll do that.
That's cool. Well. Speaking of Gilgamesh, since you mentioned her, she did my stuff. She's been my channel artist for over a year. So, I mean, I totally understand going through your friend who needs the money. So, absolutely.
I might still use her for, like, an overlay.
Yeah, she does. She did this overlay for me, my retro rap overlay.
And I like it because it's simple, but it's also classy looking.
Yeah,
you know, like it's not thrown together like mine is. You know?
Right.
So I might still go with her for an overlay, but we'll see, because, you know, my friend Dax, and he's Daxula actually. Let me give him a little shout out here too.
Sure.
Let me find his.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Go here.
And I agree. And I agree with what Tess said. Tess, she had said that she can't. When you mention that you're nervous, we can't tell. You sound so natural. That's awesome, man. But yeah, give him a shout out. While you do that, I'll go to the next one here. If Nintendo created a movie about your life, which video game character would play you and why?
Okay, there's a shout out for Dax.
Oh, perfect.
He just started a Twitch channel. I think he's only streamed once, but he was working on my stuff, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, for the question, if I say it again one more time so I can.
No, you're fine. You're fine. If Nintendo created a movie about your life, which video game character would play you and why?
The video game character that would play me would be Mario.
Love it.
From Super Mario Brothers. And the reason why is because, just like Mario, I like to lay my pipe in any hole I can find. I've been waiting to say that for like 2 days.
Giggity. Oh, that is a great answer. I can't even. We're just going to leave that answer as that, because that
That's it. I can't go any further.
You can't. You couldn't have answered that more perfectly.
It only gets worse from there. Trust me.
Speaking. Oh wait. Okay. So next one. I was going to say speaking of Mario, but that's not. Oh yeah, that is the next one. Your favorite Mario game and why?
Oh, this one's easy too, and there's a little story that goes with this one. I've never played Mario Sunshine, right?
Okay.
And I still haven't. But when I was talking about that while I was streaming one day, because me and my wife work from home for the same company, and she heard me talking about it, so she gets on Target.com and she buys the Super Mario 3D All Stars for the Switch. She just bought it for me while I was streaming. She's like, "I just bought that for you," because it's got Mario Galaxy, Sunshine, and I think Mario 64 is the third one that's on there.
Yep.
And so she bought it because I've never played Sunshine and I wanted to. So when we loaded it up to check it out, I almost clicked on Sunshine, but I remembered how much I really, really loved Mario Galaxy. So I clicked on Mario Galaxy, and I'm going to go through it again, all 120 stars, because it's probably in my top 3 games. It might even be my favorite game of all time. Mario Galaxy is fucking incredible. Everything about it is perfect. It's accessible for new people. It's, once you get past 60 stars, it gets really tough, and then pros like me, we go all the way, and that game is so much fun. Just the art design, the graphics are still beautiful. I mean, it's just emulated on the Switch. They didn't remaster it or anything, but they didn't need to. It looks so good the way it is, and just the music is perfect. The dialogue's actually entertaining, and then of course the platforming elements of it are revolutionary. Nobody ever made anything like that, and nobody has still, except Nintendo, obviously. But yeah, Mario Galaxy is definitely my favorite. Fucking, I love it so much. I can't sing its praises enough. And my wife likes to watch TV shows and shit like that, and she got me into Game of Thrones when that was a big thing, and she got me into some other things I've watched, but I'm not much of a TV guy. Like if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't watch anything on television. Period. The end. But we like to sit on the couch and do stuff, so I watch TV with her. But lately, she just loves watching Mario Galaxy, so I'm actually going to buy an Elgato so I can start streaming that shit. And
okay.
But she loves watching it. I love to play it. That's my favorite for sure, hands down. I love it. And I got into Mario Odyssey a little bit when it came out, but I got halfway through it, and it's way too accessible. Like, it's a great game, and there's all sorts of cool gimmicks in that game, but I got halfway through it and got bored with it, and ended up selling it for when we needed money at some point. And but still a great game. Like
yeah, I remember when Mario Galaxy first came out for the Wii, and I was like, God, it was so, because at the time, in my opinion, when it came out, it had the best graphics and visual than any other game on the Wii at that time. And I don't know of a game on the Wii that came out, and the Wii had a lot of games that is visual pleasing as Galaxy was. And it was just such a, even if you hated the gameplay and you hated the story, you can't help but just appreciate how beautiful it is. Just the graphics, the colors, everything. It was just amazing.
It hits the feels too. Like the weirdest part of it is, I don't want to give too much of it away if you haven't played it, but part of it is you get stars, and then at the end of a deal, you get a grand star. When you beat one of the deals. And when you get the Grand Star, just the music that plays when you get it is just so freaking good. And then the visual of him flying back to the spaceship with the spinning around the star and shit with the music, and it literally tears me up every damn time I see it. And I've seen it at least 120 times at this, or how many ever times you get the Grand Stars. But it's just like, how did they nail that shit so hard? Yeah. They killed it so hard. And Miyamoto is a genius. He really, really is. Straight up.
Yeah.
He's a genius. And I'll probably cry for days when that guy goes.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Great game though, man. I love that answer. What was your favorite snack or food to eat when you were gaming as a kid?
This one's fun too because this people think this one's weird, and I mean we had numerous snacks. I had sleepovers pretty much every damn weekend, and we'd stay up for literally 3 days playing something like Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 or something like that on the Super Nintendo, which I have a copy of that still, and I probably can't sell that one, but I'm probably going to play it again just to remember it. But yeah, the best snack we did, and I came up with this. A huge ass bowl of popcorn with a shit ton of garlic seasoning and dipped in ranch dressing. It was so good.
Really?
My friends thought I was nuts at first, but then of course as soon as we got into shit, they were like, "Hey, go get the popcorn and the ranch dressing. Go get that going."
Wow.
That was a big one for us, and it was so good. And we would stay up all night, and we'd make Morning Thunder black tea or whatever, the Celestial Seasonings tea, and we would just get all hyped up on caffeine and eat popcorn and ranch dressing and play. Who the hell knows what we were playing? Everything. We played everything we could get our hands on. So,
wow.
Yeah, popcorn and ranch dressing. Try it. It's good. I don't do that anymore, obviously, because I just went to the doctor for the first time recently, March 1st. I went to the doctor and had a physical, and I have high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and high sodium.
Oh,
so
man.
I've cut a lot of bullshit out of my diet. So,
wow.
But yeah, popcorn and ranch dressing.
I should mention to the viewers, that was a question I came up with sporadically, so it's not like I knew that he was going to say that. So, like, I thought, ask him, he'll say, like, pepperoni pizza or peanuts or something like that. So, just so you guys know.
Those were both there, too, by the way. Pepperoni and peanuts. The peas, all the peas.
Oh, man, I had no idea he was going to say it. That's a great answer, man. I love that. Oh, God. That's what I love about this, man. You just never know what people are going to say. I love it.
Popcorn with garlic salt and ranch dressing is... It's so good, but like I said, my popcorn is completely unsalted now, and I don't eat ranch dressing at all anymore. So
wow, that's awesome. Which system now I know you're a big NES guy, but stepping outside of the NES, and which system, in your opinion, is better, the SNES or the Genesis? Because when they came out, they were both had a big fan base. Each of them did. Which one did you think was better?
On that note, before I answer, let me show you something real quick.
Okay.
It's right here. I just got to open it. Here we go. I just bought this.
Oh, you bought a Genesis?
Yep, the version 1 Genesis. With
oh my gosh! Oh, that's so cool. Where'd you get that?
I got it. We have a store here called Movie Trading Company. It was a store that bought Blockbuster back in the day. It was that company. Yeah. So I went up there looking for another power cable for my GameCube, and I actually bought another composite cable for my GameCube to see if that was the issue, and it wasn't. But so when I was there, I was like, "Ooh, I've been looking for one of these. That's mine. Give it to me. I'll buy it."
Wow.
And I didn't think to get a game there to test it. But I was at my guitar tech's house yesterday picking up some of my guitars he was working on, and I remembered he took a picture of a bunch of video game crap he had in the box, and this was there, and I bought it from him.
Aladdin! Ah, nice!
Yep.
Oh,
I tacked on $50 to his tab, and I said, "How about?" He's like, $100 for both guitars. I was like, "How about 150, and you give me this?" And he's like, "Okay." And it's complete too. The book, the manuals in it, and everything.
The whole thing.
To answer the question, though, it's hard to choose, to be honest, because both systems had so many good things going for them that it's really hard to choose. But in the end, I will have to go with the SNES, Super Nintendo for sure, because the audio was definitely better. I mean, if you have the good Genesis, the audio is not bad, but every model after that one was real tinny sounding. It didn't sound that great. Super Nintendo audio is amazing. Some of the best soundtracks ever have been on the Super Nintendo. Final Fantasy VI is the first one that comes to mind, or 3 in America if you didn't know. And the graphics, of course, were definitely better. They had more colors on the Super Nintendo. The processing power was more, but somehow the Genesis could do animation better. Like for Aladdin, for instance, that was groundbreaking when it came out. You know,
Yes.
And the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin is still a really good platformer, but it doesn't look nearly as cool as the Genesis version. But in the end, you know, there was Mode 7 on the Super Nintendo, so they could do spinning things really well, and you know, like stuff like Pilot Wings was incredible. You know, Star Fox was amazing when it came out. The freaking the home version of Street Fighter 2 when that came out, it was really good. Like they really nailed it. Like it, and then of course when Mortal Kombat came out, the Super Nintendo version, when the Super Nintendo version was damn near identical to the arcade, except you know they were pussies about the whole blood thing, but whatever. But so the Genesis version obviously sold better because you could actually have the blood, and it was far inferior of a product for sure, and we all know that. But then Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and Nintendo was finally like, okay, you win. And Mortal Kombat 2 was incredible. Like, it was so good on the Super Nintendo. It was as good as the arcade. There wasn't really any difference. They nailed it somehow. So yeah, in the end, and there's so many of my favorite games are on the Super Nintendo. Like I love Mario World, which I just picked up a copy of Mario World because I thought I had it, but I didn't. So I got it in a trade with another dude. But Mario World was great. Yoshi's Island is a cool game, which I haven't quite got into yet. I tried it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I kind of like this, but then I heard there's a ROM hack which takes Mario's crying out of it, and I'm like, I want to play that one because that was annoying as hell. But so many good games on the Super Nintendo. Like, I don't have very many Super Nintendo games over here, but like some F-Zero, like I've streamed F-Zero and Will. I love F-Zero so much. And my best clip, actually, if y'all are watching, you want to go see a good clip, my best clip is me completely getting knocked off the track and fucking bailing. It's great. And I love that game. I love Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2. I love, I'm trying to think, Super Ghouls and Ghosts is an amazing game. I want to beat that Deathless so bad. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I'm going to try. But yeah, so Super Nintendo in the end, you know, the Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on there are amazing games. Of course, 2 is hard to play now, but you can, you know, get the newer pixel remaster and it helps it out a little bit. But yeah, there's so many games on there. Oh, the Super Castlevania 4. That game is incredible. The soundtrack's incredible. Yeah. So yeah, that's to make a long answer short, the Super Nintendo I think is better than the Genesis. I'm happy I got a Genesis.
I agree with all the points, and I think, in my opinion, you forgot one big difference between the two. And this is more of a, it's obviously subjective, but in my opinion, the Super Nintendo had a much better controller. I did not like the Sega Genesis controller. The way that it fit in my hand and the 3 buttons, I just didn't like it. The Super Nintendo, I've always liked Nintendo controllers, especially the GameCube controller is one of my favorite gaming controllers ever. And the Super Nintendo controller, I just thought fit in my hand better. It had more buttons that you had to figure out, but I don't know, that whole 3 button thing, I just didn't care for it.
They tried to keep up with the one with the 6 buttons, but still, it's better to have, you know, you only have 2 thumbs, you know, so you can't hit 2 buttons at once. You know, it's so yeah. And look at our current generation. You know, like look at the Xbox controller and the PS5 controller. It's the same as the Super Nintendo controller.
Yeah.
It's just got more buttons. You know, it's just got 2 shoulder buttons instead of, and then of course the thing in the middle, but the Super Nintendo set the standard for controllers, straight up.
I totally agree. And I do agree to sequel that the Sega controller was good for fighting games, but just in general, like, I didn't like the whole... the Super Nintendo had more buttons, but they were easier. They were easy to access. Just the placement of them made it easier. So, but otherwise, I agree with all the points you made. And I do like the Sega Genesis. They had some great games. But for me, I agree with you, man. The SNES was superior.
That's a good point, though. Yeah, the controller was way better.
Yeah.
Than the Super Nintendo.
Absolutely.
Easily,
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Be honest. You've cried at the ending of some video game. Which game?
I cry all the time.
That's awesome.
My first month on Lexapro, I got kind of worried because, you know, Lexapro, when you're ramping up on that, like, you're literally a zombie, kind of like you all the things you used to feel, and that's part of the benefit of it is you don't feel the bad things. But for a while, I didn't feel the good things either. You know, like I'll watch videos of puppies on Facebook and fucking cry at that. Like I cry at the drop of a hat. Like my wife tells me that I have an overabundance of empathy, and that's part of that's part of what comes with it. But so yeah, at the end of a game, let's see. I wrote a couple of things down for this, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know when I've cried necessarily at the end of a game, but the one that really comes to mind for the end of a game and multiple times in the game is, and we've mentioned it already, Final Fantasy VI on the Super Nintendo. I'm not going to give away the ending, but the ending of that game, if you're not crying at that, you're a narcissist, straight up. Like it's so, the ending is so good, and there's so many points in that game where the music will just nail you to the floor, and you're just like, like it's and that game, there's so many moments. I'm not going to give any of it away, but that game is perfect. And like I said, I cry when Mario's flying around the Grand Star, going back to the ship in Mario Galaxy. I don't even know why. Maybe it's just the innocence of it. I don't know. But it tears me up every single time I see it. But yeah, but for a game ending, for sure, Final Fantasy VI is the first thing that comes to mind. There's plenty more, but that's, for me especially, but that's the main one, is the end of that game. Just thinking about it, scaring me.
I love your honesty, man. That is so awesome that you're just so open about it. Most guys be like, I never cried at the end of the video game. What are you talking about? I'm a tough guy. You're like, I cry all the time.
I cry all the time. Like I said, at my first month of Lexapro, I was worried because I'm like, I don't want to lose that part of myself, like that's something I treasure, it's that I've been through a lot, and I've gotten in touch with that side of me, and I've grown to like it, like I'm not afraid to admit anything about me anymore. Like I'll tell you anything, I don't care. I thought I was gay for a long time because I got made fun of for being gay.
Oh,
and
wow.
And I'm not, obviously, but I didn't realize I wasn't until my late 20s, because that shit'll get to you, words have power, for sure, especially for somebody like me that takes everything seriously and, feels a lot. But yeah, to answer the question, Final Fantasy VI on Super Nintendo.
Wow, that is awesome, man. Dissequel1 says, Nigel got a fan of me already. I can relate. That's cool. This is why I do this. Let's see here. What would you like to say to those who have supported you on Twitch?
Straight up, just thank you for being there. I don't require anybody to chat. I'm not, whatever. If you're there, you're helping, and that's all that matters to me. That's really it. Like, thank you for being there, and I'm glad you're there. And even if you're lurking, if you're hanging out and chatting, if you got me tabbed just to listen to me, whatever, because I do that all day at work. That's what I do. I'm a chronic lurker, but and I'll stop in and say hi, and that'll be the only thing I do because I'm busy. But yeah, the one thing I can say to the people that have supported me is thank you so much. Thank you, Si. I am so appreciative of you just being there. Like, I just want, like, if you're there, I'm happy. That's all I need. Short answer.
No, hey man, that's cool.
Amongst many long answers.
Nope, that's all right, man. I love the short, sweet, straight to the point. Thank you. That is cool. I love it. If you could make a movie or TV adaptation of any video game, which would it be and why?
I've got a couple of good ones.
Okay.
Of course, the one that's already been done, that's been done really well, is Witcher. And so I have to mention that. If you haven't watched the Witcher series, get on it.
Let me stop you for a second. My girlfriend is obsessed with that show. Oh my God. And she just keeps talking all about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is very well done. And, like, you think, season 2 is not going to be as good as 1. Yeah, it was. It was about as good. But yeah, Witcher's been done already, and they're killing it. Henry. I have a huge crush on Henry Cavill. Like, he's an amazing dude, and such a nerd. He like, they were people that were filming it were saying he's like a dictionary of Witcher lore, and he's like, we need to put this part in. We need to put this part that was on page 266 of this book. Blah blah blah. Like, he knows exactly where everything is in the book. It's crazy. But anyway, getting off the subject. The first one that comes to mind and I'm going to go two ways on this one because this is an interesting topic, an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I really think they could do a really good job, like a live action, kind of like Witcher, like actual actors, actual real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Legend of Zelda.
Yes! Why haven't they done this yet?
They should already have. And,
yes.
But they could. There's so many different like generations and so many different plot lines and storylines that you could pull from, and you could do something like Witcher did, which I'm not going to give too much of it away, but the first season of Witcher is all over the place, and you start to figure that out about the end of it, and they could do something like that where they use different timelines and stuff, like for Zelda, and it would be incredible. Like they could do so much with that, and they could make it really good, But the whole thing is getting Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo's a Pokemon. They own Pokemon, So it would be hard to get them to take it seriously, I think. But somebody could take The Legend of Zelda and do something really cool with it on the television. And boy, howdy, I'd watch it. I'd watch that shit all day long. But second part of the question is, let's reverse it. What hasn't been done on video games that should be is another one. What is a series, not necessarily television, what is a series that hasn't been done on video games that really should be? And to give that answer, that wasn't a question, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Stephen King's The Dark Tower series.
Ooh.
They need to make a video game series out of that. There's so much to work with there. It would be like you could do something like Red Dead, Revolver or whatever, make it like a cowboy type game, because that's kind of a cowboy story really, but it's a sci-fi cowboy story, and there's so much and that has different timelines too. Like you could do so much with a video game with that, or you could just make it like a role-playing game straight up, and that would work really well. And if you haven't read the Dark Tower series, I highly, highly recommend it. There's 7 books, and then there's an extra book he wrote just like off, whatever, a money grab, and it was a good one. But Dark Tower series, I started reading it when I was probably 10 years old. And at the time, there was only, I think, 3 books out. And so when I finished the third book ends in the biggest cliffhanger of all time. And I was just like, and I had to wait for the 4th book. And of course, at that time, life moves so quick, I forgot about the series because I was growing up, middle school, high school. And then when I was in high school, I was in a bookstore one day and I saw book 4 had come out. And I was just like, give me, and I devoured it that day. Like I didn't stop reading it that day. I found it at a half-price books, a used bookstore we have around here, and that book series, they made a movie out of it. Don't bother with the movie. The movie sucks. It does have Idris Elba in it, but I didn't even watch it because all my friends that are fans of the series were like, don't bother with it. So I didn't. But Idris Elba is a great actor, and I'm sure he did a good job of portraying Roland. But so 2-part question. I made it 2 parts. Sorry about that, but I really wanted to say I think the Dark Tower series needs a video game series.
I love that. In fact, I'm going to use that as a question in my next interview. I love that. Which TV or movie deserves a video game? That's awesome. Yeah. Idris Elba. He was in The Office, right? I don't know if you've ever watched The Office.
My wife's actually rewatching it right now while she works.
Okay.
So I never got into it. I started the first season, and I didn't care for it. Like I was like, and I know, and she was like, "You got to stick with it because
you do."
The first season, yeah. And I've been watching it as I go to the bathroom or stuff, and I'll stop and watch a little bit of it, and so it does get better. I can already tell. So I'm probably gonna watch it. But so to answer your question, no, I didn't know he was in that. If he was,
okay. Oh, that's cool, man. Great answer, by the way, and thank you, because you just gave me... Sometimes it's very hard to come up with questions for Retro Rap, because I do it every week. So, and that's why I created a channel in my Discord for Retro Rap. So if you guys come up with cool questions, post them in there, because it gets very hard to, because I've done this now since September, every week. So to come up, and that's 10 questions an interview in, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 7 months. That's... That's a lot. So thank you for that. I love that.
You got to keep it fresh. Yeah, you can use that for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you. Last question. 2 pieces of advice you'd give to a new streamer, or one pushing for affiliate, or a piece of advice for each.
I guess my answer to that can go to both, and that is make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. I think is the biggest one for me because when I've been on Twitch for a while. Like I started doing this pre-pandemic, and I did a couple of streams. Like I did a couple of co-op streams with my buddy Mike T. We played Unholy War, which is another one of my favorite games, by the way. The Unholy War for PS1. Check that out if you haven't. It's a fantastic game. They need to make a newer version of it. But anyway, when I was starting out, I didn't even really know what I was doing. Like I would just record, I would just turn it on, and I would beat Contra without dying, and then I would turn it off. And it's like 15, not even 15 minutes. But I didn't even watch Twitch at the time, so I didn't know what I was doing. And once I started watching, I'm like, okay, it's not about the game as much. It's more about the camaraderie of it, and hanging out and meeting people and spreading your vibe or whatever you want to do. But so do it for the right reasons. And I thought, like most streamers that start out, I thought, oh, this could be a source of income for me, blah blah blah, and so I took it way more seriously than I should have when I first started. And of course, with my mental health issues, I got to stream, going for affiliate, I got to stream 7 times a month or whatever the requirement is, I forget. But I could only manage 1 stream a month. And of course, you're not going to get any traction doing that. And that was just me not being able to push play is basically all it was. And that's tight. Anybody can relate to that knows knows about ADD and depression and anxiety. When you have that trifecta, it's fucking impossible to do anything. But yeah, once I decided, and then I thought, okay, you know what? I have a good job now. I got full time at my job. I've got benefits. I've got health insurance. I've got a 401k. Things are going well. I'm playing a lot more shows. I don't really need the money. So let's say I'll give 20% of my stream income to Foundation 45. And then, so that got rolling a little bit. And then I got on my medication, and I'm like, I'm having a good time with this now. Like, this is actually fun for me, and I've decided to do it in the middle of the day, and then sometimes at night whenever I can. And it's like, fuck it. And I saw Power Possum.
Oh, yep.
That he does full, full 100%, charity stream. And I'm like, why don't I do that? And so once I decided to go full charity, that was the move, because now I'm just enjoying it. I'm already successful. It doesn't matter anymore. So, but make sure you're doing it for the right reasons is the answer to the question, because if you're doing it to make money, you're never going to make money. If you're doing it for some weird ego issue or whatever, you want to be puffed up about stuff, don't be that way anyway. But, you shouldn't do that. Make sure you're doing it for the exact reasons that you want to. I'm doing it because it's fun, and a benefit of it being fun is I can help somebody that maybe get the help that I didn't get. And once I figured out why I wanted to do it, now it's been a dream. It's hard for me to go back to work after I shut it off after my lunch stream. It's hard for me to go back to work because I'm so excited. I wanted to keep going. I've gone late a couple of times just because I wanted to try to beat the game, and of course my boss is cool. My boss is like, whatever, as long as you take care of your shit, I don't really care what you do. So it's fine. But yeah, once I figured out why I was doing it and for what reasons, that was the biggest move for me. So for anybody that's that's getting started or trying to hit affiliate, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And that's it. I can't tell you what your reason is. But it took me a minute to find mine, and once I found it, it was great. So just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. That's the last time I'm going to say it.
That's awesome, man. All right, so at this point, I'm going to open up the questions from the viewers, and I already have one question. I have 2 questions I always ask. My first question is
over here.
My first question is, would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
That's a really good one, because I'm gonna go with the 100 duck-sized horses, because one duck-sized horse, I can't do that. Hell, a group of regular ducks will fuck you up. I mean, or geese, those fuckers are big. And we used to we live right by White Rock Lake in Dallas, and we used to take walks around it a lot, and we need to get back to that. But there's this one spot. It's called Sunset Cove, I think, on White Rock Lake. And there's I forget what you call them, a flock of geese. I don't even know what the hell you call them or whatever. But these huge geese that people go out there and feed bread to all the time, so they're fucking enormous. and those bastards will take your finger off. Like, they're huge. So yeah, they're cool, but don't try to grab them or anything. They'll take your eye out. You know, they're crazy. But yeah, I'll take 100 or how many ever it was duck-sized horses any day of the week. It's one horse-sized duck. No, they'll take your head right off. That ain't gonna work.
Slime Game says it's a gaggle of geese. I think that's true.
A gaggle.
A gaggle.
I think that's right.
Yeah. My other question I'd like to ask, do you have a favorite sandwich spot by your house, whether it's a chain or local, and what's your favorite sub sandwich to get? What's your go-to?
Well, I'll give you both. We have a Jersey Mike's that's right there. Yeah, yes. I know you like Jersey Mike's. That's why I just said it.
Yes.
And of course I don't do that as often anymore. And I changed everything about what I get there. Like I don't get I used to get the Italian, and I would add mayo, pickles, and the cherry pepper relish. And boy, howdy, that was delicious. Yeah, it's so good. But of course, high cholesterol, triglycerides, sodium. So I forget what I get there now, but it's something way plainer, but still pretty good. I don't remember what it is. But Jersey Mike's would be the chain. But then just a little bit down the road from that, like a walk. Like I could walk to all these places where I am. There's a bar right over here. I was actually there last night to play pool. It's called The Goat. It's the best blues bar in Dallas. There were some guys from Canada there one time that we met, and they were like, "This is amazing. This place is incredible. We don't have anything like this in Toronto. It's crazy." But right next to that bar is a pizza shop called Cigars, and they have a gyro there. It's only $5, and it's really good. Like really good.
I love gyros. Oh.
Yeah, and last night we went to a bar that's further down the road. It's not a walk. We went to a place down the road called Cock and Bull, and they have a really good menu. Their chef's amazing, and we got the gyros from there, and it's just one big fat gyro that has all kinds of good stuff in it. It even has olives in it. They put olives in their gyros, which I'm a huge fan of. And so one big gyro with all the usual stuff with tomatoes, red onions, olives, and they put feta cheese and tzatziki. It was so good. I shouldn't eat something like that, but I did because it was like, I don't want to cook tonight. We're going to do this. So we got that, and my stepdaughter got their mussels, and she loved those. But that is $9 for a big gyro and some roasted potatoes. And so there's 3 for you right there. And I love me a gyro. A good gyro is really good. We tried this place by our office. Our office is in Irving, Texas, and we tried a place. The first day we had to go back to the office, me, my wife, and a girl we work with. We tried this other gyro place because the buffet that we liked, the Mediterranean buffet, had closed due to COVID. So we were sad about that. But I was like, well, this place is called Euroasis. Let's go try this place. And the people who worked there were really nice. Yeah, right.
It's a great name.
Euroasis. It is a great name. That's why I was like, it caught my eye. I'm like, let's go try this place. And the food wasn't bad, but it was not good. It was straight up white people food. Straight up, no seasoning on any of it. It was Mediterranean, but there was no Mediterranean seasoning in the house, it seemed like. And the gyro was huge, but they dumped a shit ton of tzatziki on the top of it, and that's always a bad sign, because that means they're trying to cover up something.
Yeah.
And so we went there and we brought the food back to the office, and we're eating in the common area and everything. I'm like, so what does everybody think about this? And we were all like, meh. And I'm like, okay, yeah, me too. And then the next night, I went. My wife hadn't had a Cigars gyro before, so the next day for lunch, I drove over there and got us a gyro from Cigars, and Heather was like, "This is good." She's like, "The one I had yesterday, not good. This is great." And then the one last night, she was just like, "This is incredible." She hadn't had that one either. She's like, "This is the best gyro I've ever had." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's way less healthy than the one at Cigars." But yeah, so there's your answer. Jersey Mike's for the chain. Cigars for the gyro, and Cock and Bull as a further away, costs more, but it's also very good.
I feel that gyros are very underrated.
They are.
God, I just
gyro is incredible.
Oh God, I love gyros, and tzatziki sauce is amazing.
Just a good tzatziki. You just need one good strip of it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all you need.
Yeah, it's not like mayo. I mean, you don't need to just pile it on. Like just a nice little strip of tzatziki. If the gyro is done right, is all you need, and it is perfect.
Yes, I'm checking my phone real quick because my mom's on the way. But I just
you're fine.
Everything's fine there. Okay,
Does
cool.
anybody else have any questions? If you have a question, appropriate question, make sure you use the highlight my question channel point redemption, please.
And you can ask me anything too.
Open
I'm an
book.
open book. I wear my thoughts and my all that on my sleeve, and also check out my sleeve. Y'all can see that.
Oh, what is that?
It's a wizard with his hand at the bottom here with magic and stuff, and then this other side's not finished, but there's a dragon going up the other side.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's really
all
neat.
free too, on the house.
Wow, look at you. How did
Yeah.
you get that hookup?
Well, it's not that long a story. I can tell it quick. It's a tattoo shop close to here. It's a friend of the Slow Moving Snakes band leader. I think they live right next door to each other, something like that. But the tattoo shop had their grand opening, and the bar next door, which is called, what is it? Damn it, I can't remember the name. Doesn't matter. The bar next door, he had his grand opening party at that bar, and we played there, which they don't really have bands there, but they have a good spot for it. So we were like, why don't we just play right there? And they was like, okay, cool. So the deal was everybody in the band gets a free tattoo.
Oh.
So when I went over there to pick my tattoo, I didn't know what I wanted. I was like, I have no idea. So I'll just look and see if I can come up with something or whatever. But the tattoo shop's called the Whittling Wizard Tattoo. So when I was looking at the book, I saw a wizard, and he has this huge wizard painting on the wall. I was like, I kind of like the wizard. He goes, oh, he's like, if you do a wizard, I will give you a full sleeve. I'll hook you up.
Wow.
So that's how it started. And it started with just the wizard head. And I was like, do you want to keep going with this? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I got ideas. And every time I went in, it changed because, it was months at a time. It's been over 2 years since it started. And so every time I go in to get more work done on it, it changes, because it's just whatever he wanted to do. So yeah, it's a unique piece because nobody's ever going to have anything like that.
That's
So.
really cool.
Yeah.
Slime Games is asking, what's your zodiac sign?
I guess if you're using the one, didn't it change at some point? Didn't they come out and say, oh, we got it wrong? I don't remember. But Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. Straight up.
Cool. And the sequel one is saying, I struggle with energy and have ADHD really bad, so I'm up and down so much. Do you have any tricks that help you motivate and stay on task for streaming? Good question, by
I
the
guess
way.
it is a great question, and I'll give you a solid answer. And like I was saying earlier, I've been undiagnosed ADHD my entire life. My pediatrician when I was growing up, she was this hippie lady, and she was amazing, great doctor. But at the time, ADHD was a new thing, and I was reading a book in her office while my mom was in there asking her about it. And she looked at me out in the waiting room reading a book, and she said, "Oh, there's no way he could be ADHD. If he's reading that book, there's no way." Which now we know we can hyper focus on what we want to, But we can if we're into something, we're into it. I can play a video game I love for 3 days without sleeping. I've done it, But when it comes to everyday tasks and working and staying on point, I've just never been able to do it. Of course, when there's a paycheck involved, I can force myself through it, which is what I've been doing. I waited tables and bartended for 18 years, and you're constantly doing stuff, and that was great for me. But once I wanted to get out of that, it's like, okay, I got to figure something out. So I finally got insurance. I got a good mental health doctor. She put me on 10 milligrams a day of Lexapro for my depression and anxiety, and she put me on 10 milligrams a day of extended release Adderall, and it has changed my life. And 10 milligrams of Adderall is a step up from the minimum. The minimum is 5 milligrams. She started me at 10 for both, and the minimum is 5 for both. She started me at 10 for both, and it's literally changed my life. Like and the part that sucks right now is I called the damn doctor for my refill too late on Thursday, and they'd already closed.
Oh,
and
no.
I only have 2 left, so I'm going to take a day off tomorrow so I can have Monday and Tuesday just in case. But yeah, I recommend talking to a mental health doctor. Like, find one. Around here, there's actually a lot of them, and they have cash options. You don't need insurance necessarily, and I recommend getting help for it. I mean, it's a real thing. Some people think it's not. It absolutely is, and you can get help for it if you can. I don't know where you live or whatever, but look around for a mental health doctor. The girl I go to, she is actually not a doctor. She is a nurse practitioner. and she has a psychology a master's in psychology. I think I don't even know what her credentials are, but and I even told her like last year. This is a little bit story about me. Last year, I went 9.5 months without a single drink. I didn't have anything to drink for 9.5 months. It's the longest I've ever been without a drink
Wow.
since I've been an adult. But a couple of months into that, I was like, I gotta have something. So I found me a cocaine hookup, and I was on cocaine for about 6 months. And that's how that went.
Wow.
I bought a gram or two every week, and spent a lot of money. All the money I made playing music, I spent all of that on pretty much all of that on cocaine. And then I got 1099 by one of my bands, and I ended up owing $600. So now I owe $600 on my taxes, and I basically am just paying for having done cocaine for that long. Is what I'm paying for. Is what it is. But
Dang.
don't ever do that. But when I finally talked to the doctor, when I got my insurance, I finally talked to somebody that could help me. The doctor, I told her everything, because my therapist recommended me to her. My therapist, I was like, should I tell her all this? And she's like, yeah, you should be honest with her. She's like, I think you can be honest with her. I was like, okay. So I told her everything, and I was surprised. She put me on Adderall. She was like, so I'm going to put you on a stimulant, even though you're on that other stimulant. and I was like, trust me, I erased that guy's information. I don't know how to get it anymore. I'm off of it. So I was like, I don't want to be on that. And she was like, okay, well, we're going to try this. And since I've been on that, it's been since November now. I haven't even thought about that other stimulant. Like, I mean, I've thought about it, but I haven't like wanted it or tried to get it or anything like that. And some people need to be on a low-level extended-release stimulant. That's just the way it is. Like, some people need it. Our brains are screwed up for whatever reason, you know. You know, it could be that our ancestors had sex with their brothers and sisters and had babies, and now that's where we are, you know, or anything like that. We don't know. It's a lot of it is genetic. It's very much a genetic thing. Depression runs really, really long in both sides of my family. Alcoholism too. So, you know, I'm a product of that. And yeah, get help. That's all I can say. That's the best thing I can say to you. There's no trick to it. I thought there was. I've tried everything you can try. And, you know, I've tried journaling, which I actually do now. I have a hero's journal. It's really cool. Look those up. But, yeah, try keeping a journal. But the most thing I can tell you is go get help. You can find somebody that can help you that you can afford. There's somebody out there. And, shoot, let me find the girl I go to. She only does virtual visits. She doesn't even have an office anymore. She works out of her home. Let me find it real quick, and I'll put it in the chat. Because you don't even have to live here to go to this girl. Let me find it real quick. There she is. Okay. Let me go find her website. Here it is. Okay, let me put this in the chat. Bam. There's two doctors there. The one you want to look at is Angel Adams. She's really cool. And I have to try that. You know, and she has a cash option. I don't know how much she charges for anything because my insurance covers it up. I have to pay a $50 copay for not your primary care, like a specialist. I have to pay $50 copay for it, so I don't have any idea how much she charges. But I know she has a cash option, which is significantly lower than the insurance. So start there. You can live anywhere in the world and go to that girl straight up. So.
That's cool, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's cool. Empathy Gamer is asking, do you use OG consoles or do you emulate?
OG. Everything I do is OG. I have a Nintendo, and I have a shit ton of games, but I do use a flash cart for my NES because I don't want to have to change games out all the time, and it's just easier. And I have pretty much everything I play on stream. So if anybody's wondering, I do own the games for the most part. but yeah, everything I have is OG. I just bought the Genesis 2 days ago. I've got a Super Nintendo. I've got an NES. I've got a GameCube that I'm still trying to get working right for the stream, and I've got a N64 as well. And of course, I've also got a couple of handhelds like a DS and whatnot over on the shelf. But yeah. Oh, and I've got a couple of. I actually traded my Saturn because my PS2 died, and I really, I have to have a PS2 that works. So I traded my Saturn for a one of the fat PS2s, like the good model that actually still
Oh,
works.
yeah.
So I got that. I also have a PS2 Slim that works half the time. That's the one that died, but it still works occasionally. But I'm not going to deal with that on stream. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. And of course, I have a gaming computer that I'm on right now, and I do play a lot of PC games. So,
All right, cool, man.
there you go. And I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. Of course, I have a Switch too. I have a Switch and a PS4. Yeah, I have a Switch and PS4. And I'm actually in the market for a PS5 now. I've waited a long time, and I haven't really wanted one until now. But I've been watching people play Returnal, and that's the game that's going to get me to buy it. And there's stuff coming that I'm going to want. So at this point, I'm keeping an eye on the stores and seeing where I can get one. So
Slime Games is asking, oh, this is an interesting question. Who would win, Mega Man at the end of Mega Man 2 or Samus at the end of Super Metroid?
that's a really good question, because and I think it's an easy winner. I'm going to say Mega Man at the end of Mega Man 2, because in Super Metroid, Samus has like the regular, the regular gun, the beam, and then the plasma beam, and then the ice beam, and I think that's pretty much it, right? So maybe there's another one. I don't remember. I need to play that again. I'm going to play that on stream too. Super Metroid's coming. That is definitely going to happen. I love that game so much. I have it. But so 3, maybe 4 weapons versus all the weapons that Mega Man has at the end of Mega Man 2. He's more likely to have something that's going to fuck her up than she is him.
Yeah,
So I'm just playing the odds. So
like the Metal Blade, which destroys everything in Mega Man 2.
everything. Yeah.
I think it's so powerful.
The OP as fuck, that Metal Blade. But it's fun though. It's fun just using it the whole time. It's great. I love that game so much. I did once CC that on stream. I haven't done the no death like you yet though. I'm working on it though.
It's a fun game. It's a hard one for no death, but it's fun. All right, Nigel. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to give you a I'm going to give you a shout out here, because then Twitch Guru plays a clip of your channel. As long as you had one.
It might be an old clip. So if it's an old clip, just I'll tell you it's old.
No, that's cool. And if it's a really short one, I'll play another one, because sometimes they're really like 5 seconds long. So let's take a look at Nigel's channel here. Give him a shout out, and here we go.
Robin Hood advances to next level. Kick ass. Ooh.
It's a new one.
Ooh, what's this? Can I go in here? Oh shit, this is the boar. Fuck, that scared me. Okay.
There you go. That is Nigel_Neverland.
Actually, there's another one that's on the same game where I sing the Brave Sir Robin song from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's probably the best one. But and of course the F-Zero one's good too. But yeah, that's a newer one. That was not that long ago. So I'm glad I played a newer one.
That's cool, man. Well, thank you so much for your time, buddy. I really appreciate it. This was I love doing these. I learned so much from you guys that I would have never known.
It's a great thing, man. I tune if I don't have something to do on Saturday, I tune in every time. I may not say anything, but I always have you tabbed if I'm working on stuff. But like today, I had nothing to do. I am going to go buy a car later, which I'm excited about. And then tonight, I have a show at a new place in Rockwall, Texas, and then a birthday party with an old friend after that. So it's going to be a good day. It's already started out great.
Do you have any recorded video of your band playing? If so, can you post it in my Discord?
Yes, I do. I actually, 1 second, and I can post it right here so everybody else can look.
Yeah, post a link here if people can look at it, and then also post a link in my Discord. Just go under General, because I think that would be fun for us to see.
Yeah, and I've got it right here.
I appreciate that, Desequel one. Thank you.
All right, here's a link to the one video the Slow Moving Snakes have done. I'm the bass player. And I'll put that in your Discord as well.
Yeah, did you put it in the chat?
Oh, no, I didn't hit enter, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to say it. There we go.
That is the worst thing for me is I'll put it in there and my brain just moves too quick,
Desequel. Yeah, you can post your band. Yeah, if you guys are in bands, yeah, post it in my Discord. I don't care. That's cool.
I love finding new stuff because the weird thing about being like I'm technically not a professional musician because I don't do it for a living. Like it's not my main job, and a lot of the pros are like, "Oh, you're not really a pro," you know. But I am professional quality, by the way, and you don't really listen to much music when you're a musician because the only stuff I listen to is stuff I'm learning to join a band. You know, so I'm learning other people's stuff, and so I'm listening to that and charting it out so I can have my charts on the stage. So I don't really have to practice that much. I'm lazy, but yeah, it's really tough to find new stuff because I don't have time to just sit and listen to music. So please post stuff if you do stuff. I want to hear it. I want to look into it because it has to be given to me or I won't find it. Straight up.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you like Nigel, if you have other videos you want to post my Discord, and everybody else, if you have videos from your band or whatever you want to post in Discord, feel free to do it. In fact, maybe today or tomorrow.
Where would you want it posted? Where would you want it posted?
Just if you could post it in general, just post it there.
Okay.
In fact, maybe today or tomorrow I'll create a channel specifically for that. That would be really cool. But thank you so much, Nigel. This was so much fun. I really appreciate this. I learned a lot from this interview. Thank you for being so open about everything, too.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty cool. I don't, Jill. I should have one for creative stuff. She just asked if I have a channel for creative stuff. Well, maybe I do. I can always copy and paste the link and put it there, though.
Oh, you do? The Stumpy Hall has creative stuff.
Oh, you put it in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Jill. I didn't even realize that. Jill, you are creative stuff. Yes, she is.